Hello and a very warm welcome from the Army Combat Centre in Aldershot for one of the highlights in the Forces sporting calendar. It is of course the Army Interunit Team Championships, and we can look forward to seeing some of the very best novice boxers in action. In the blue corner, chasing their first title since 2018, it's 2 para. Meanwhile, in the red corner, making history here from Cyprus, it's the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment. Let's catch up with both teams now, and we start with 2 para, and the man who helped steer them to victory 5 years ago is back.
I'm keen. I want to get back in there. Seeing the lads box, and I got the itch straight away to get back in the ring, and here I am now.
Indeed, that memory of 2018, it's one of the great feelings, isn't it, to come away with that Army title?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 100%. It means so much, to get the win as well, and to come back winning with the trophy and everything,
It's obviously a privilege to sort of work and lead these men, but at the end of the day we're all equals, we're all fighters, and we're just there for each other at the end of the day. Support is massive, obviously all like our blokes, like Reg blokes and that behind us. When you're walking out and all cheering for you and stuff, it's a good feeling, and it does make a massive difference.
And your opposition, you're going to be facing a good boxing regiment. They're very new. In fact, they've only been going for 18 months or so. So you've got, not only have you got the record on your side, you've also got a lot of experience on your side.
Yeah, of course, we've got some good lads, good fighters in the team, and we're nothing but confident for this final.
I think regardless of what team we're facing, it's just blank faces. Our goal remains the same, and I generally believe we'll win this season.
I mean, the Paras, you have this awesome reputation for going in there right from the start. There's never a quarter given, and that's presumably not going to change on the night against the Anglians.
No, not at all. I think at this level of boxing doesn't set a man apart. It's how far it's willing to go, and I speak on behalf of our boxing team. This team's willing to go further than any other team.
It's always a hard season for us, but we never enter this season just to do well. We enter to win. Like every time, it's win or nothing at all. So we're not. I respect the other. I respect the Anglians and I respect the other teams in it. But I think that just sharpens our focus that much. And we are the favourites to win, and the pressure does build on us, and we handle that pressure really well.
Well, as I mentioned, the Vikings have already achieved so much by reaching the final, but they don't want the party to stop yet. They want to go home with the title.
Since we're so new to it, it's been our first year doing it since I don't know how long ago, and we've straight to the finals on the first try. So it's I think everyone's really excited about it because we're so new to it. There's all these other teams like Paras and the Lancs. They've had a boxing team for a long time now, whereas we've just come on and straight to the finals. So.
And of course, you beat the Lancs in that all-Cyprus semi-final. That was a tough old night, wasn't it?
That was close, yeah. It's down to the last fight, wasn't it? It was 5-4.
It really was, yeah. So you've done so much hard work already. Do you genuinely feel that this is going to be your year?
Yeah, definitely.
You know how tough it's going to be against the Paras with such a reputation in this competition, and you know the sort of fights that you're going to face.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah, we've been putting the work in, we've been looking at that and we've been dealing with it, and I think, we'll see on the night what happens, but I think we're all buzzing, we're all in good hopes, and I think we're going to do the job.
What else is it going to take to beat the Paras and off their verge?
I think just the Viking spirit that we've got, we all gel together, we're going to come in and we're going to put it all out there, and we'll wear our hearts on our sleeve. We're going to go in there on the night and we're going to come away with a win. I think that's what we all think and that's what we all believe, so we'll see on the night.
I think the furthest our battalion's ever got is semi-finals, so it's really good to get the finals this year. First time we've had a boxing team for many years, so yeah, it's really good to get here.
What would it mean to you and the lads to go back with that boxing championship?
Oh, I mean everything. It's everything we've trained for. So since our battalion formed up this boxing team 18 months ago, our main effort was this major unit. So to get into the finals is a big achievement in itself. But to win would mean everything. Yeah.
Well, the CEO of one Royal Anglians is Lieutenant Colonel Adrian Thompson, and he's been giving his thoughts about tonight's big showdown to our Cyprus reporter, Sophie Kokianis.
You were present at the semi-finals as well. How confident were you on the night that they were through?
I'm not going to lie, I was pretty nervous. I was sat 2 seats down from commanding officer of the 1st Battalion Lancashire Regiment, Duke Lancaster Regiment, and we were certainly exchanging some nervous looks all the way through the evening. When it got through to the penultimate bout and we needed the last 2 fights to win, I was quietly confident, but I wasn't 100% certain. But I knew that the 2 boxers we had coming up at the end had the potential to do it for us, and it was brilliant results in the end.
And how does it feel for you personally? You've recently become CEO of the 1st Battalion, and what does it kind of mean for you to be able to see them through what would be quite a momentous sporting occasion?
I mean, I'd love to be able to take all the credit for it, but definitely it's a decision of my predecessor to focus on boxing and to allow the guys and the team to commit to training. So, you know, huge credit to him. The work and commitment that the coaching team have put in, Corporal Dyer and Corporal Barley, and all the supporting staff. Larry Holmes, my MTO, in the way that he's run the team over the last year has been absolutely outstanding, and they have sacrificed a lot of their own personal time alongside of other work commitments as well to make this happen and to get the team to the final. But ultimately it's been down to each and every one of those individuals in the team with the courage and the strength to step into the ring and really put the hard yards in with training.
And what are your predictions for the final against 2 Para then?
You know, I think it's going to be close. I know that 2 Para have got a really strong team as well, and they've had a good run through to the finals. I'm going to go with 6-3 on the night. So we'll see.
Just to confirm, to who?
To the Vikings, of course. 6-3 to the Vikings.
Where can people watch it? Is there a special viewing party or?
Yeah, so I mean, it's fantastic. It's going out on BFBS, and our plan is to put it on in our water sports centre in the bar there, and hopefully people are down there watching it this evening to cheer the team on, and hopefully we'll be able to hear their cheers from Aldershot.
Time for us to head ringside now and catch up with our commentators, Staff Sergeant James Allen, Lieutenant Commander Lucy O'Connor, and our very own John Knighton.
John. Tell him otherwise. It's alright, whenever he's free. So we've got a while yet, we can do it these.
Oh yeah, true, I get the impression from the lad that's this kid. I get the reason the views have swapped because he's obviously not had that much training, as the way he's been training, the way he's been down.
Well, a welcome live here to Aldershot, to the military boxing stadium here, which has been venue for so many years, of course, for some terrific evenings of boxing. It's actually the 11th year, believe it or not, that this centre has been up and running, and we are absolutely delighted to be here tonight. A slight delay because there's an issue getting some of the supporters down, some of the fans of the Vikings. I think they're coming from the 2nd Battalion who are coming down, being held up in traffic. So we've got a slight delay, so you've not missed anything, particularly if you're over there in Cyprus, of course, and watching the things that are hopefully coming up. We're going to have a great night of boxing. Let me introduce our two guests this evening who are joining me live here at ringside. We've got James Allen and also Lucy O'Connor tonight, who are going to give me the benefit really of their expertise and knowledge of both of these teams tonight. Lucy, obviously coming from a Royal Navy perspective, you're completely neutral. James, obviously, you know, with your knowledge of army boxing per se, plenty to say and plenty to tell us about. Maybe James, I'll come to you first. There's some great bouts to look forward to this evening and some great matchups. Which ones have caught your eye early on?
Yeah, right, John. Yeah, well, I've just been into the changing room and spoke to both coaches and sort of tried to get who their sort of bankers was, who they're expecting, people they almost need to win in order to get the lads over the line today. So I'm expecting big things from the team captain from the Anglians. We've got Kieran Cocker, he's the team captain. He won his semi-final by a first round stoppage, and they're expecting him to get over the line today and get them. I know he's on after the interval, but they're expecting him to get the win tonight.
Yep. I'm also very interested in the latter stages of the competition, because there are boxers there who have fought and won championships before. If you look at Liam Lindsay from the Paras, he actually fought last year for 3 Para, and he was the man who basically claimed the title for them in that last bout.
Yeah, he's been there and done it in this venue 12 months ago. It was 4-4 going into the final bout, and he got over the line, didn't he? But his opponent, he was he did this exact same thing in the semi-finals. You know, that's right. Over in Cyprus, there was Barry 4 each going into the final bout, and he's been in that same situation and got the lads over the line. So it'll be interesting if it does go 4-4. We've got 2 lads who've experienced the need and they want to go over the line and do the job for the team, so they've been there and done it, and they'll leave it in the ring, won't they? So I hope we get 4-4 going into that final bout.
And there's also Tony Jones as well from the Paras, who in 2018 he was the man who took 2 Para to their last army title, and talking to him, actually you might have heard in the interview that we did with him a little bit earlier, he didn't need to be asked twice to come back. He was absolutely excited about rejoining the team.
Yeah, like he said, 5 years ago, he again was that fighter that got his team that final win. I was speaking to his coaches in the changing room, and he likes to scrap, does Jones. He likes to tear up, and I'm excited to watch him, because it could be a case of boxer versus brawler in that bout.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because he's been moved from the 92 from the heavyweight category up to cruiserweight, where he'll now take on Private Farrell from the Royal Anglians. Let me bring Lucy in. Lucy, great to have you with us tonight. And you know, I think we've sat around and seen some really excellent boxing, military boxing. Obviously the inter-services this year, but also this time last year, some great bouts here when it was obviously 3 Para who won the title. So I bet you're looking forward to a great night tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I absolutely am. I mean, nothing has matched the noise that I experienced here last year, and I don't think anyone does it quite as well as the British Army in terms of a boxing show and a boxing venue, and the passion that you see around the ring and within the ring, it's pretty unrivaled.
absolutely is. And I must say that wherever you're watching this evening, we would love to hear from you, particularly if you're over there in Cyprus. I know that this is such a great night for military boxing, but it's a particularly brilliant night for the Royal Anglians, isn't it? Their first ever Army final tonight. They're so thrilled to be here, but they're not just here to make up the numbers, and that's really important, isn't it? They're here to take that title and that shield that's sat just behind us back to Cyprus tonight.
And I think it's, you know, they may not have the noise here, but they've certainly got the support back in Cyprus, and we know for a fact that there'll be a huge following online for tonight's experience.
If you're all watching, you know, over there, please let us know and give us your thoughts as we go into this. Alex SDS says, come on the Vikings. Kaz Castle says, come on to Para. And Thomas Gregory says, let's watch some Paras get beat up then. Well, there you go. I think that the scene is being set already. And, you know, James, you know, you've experienced so many great nights here in this gym. And it's amazing to think this has been running now for 11 years since you moved from the Maida gym all those years ago.
Yeah. Do you know, it doesn't? It's 11 years is a long time, isn't it? Do you know, the Maida was a great venue, but we sort of felt like we was moving into a new era when we came in here 11 years ago. It's a fantastic venue. It's nights like tonight when you get all the crowd in the two sets of supporters that sort of makes you realise how special this venue can be. It's compact, but once you've got enough people in here, it's pretty special.
It really is a fantastic, and you know, obviously I know that in terms of the numbers, we haven't got the numbers of supporters for the Vikings. There's some poachers are coming down. In fact, they're just now emerging from their travels down to, and they've obviously got stuck in traffic and whatever. So it's really great that there's been a slight delay. Very shortly, we will have the colours, which will be presented and brought onto the location here, which is all part of the tradition, and that's what makes military boxing so special, isn't it? It's the colours, it's the core of the drums, it's the regimental marches that greets the boxers as they come into the ring. It's a very special feeling, isn't it?
It's unlike anything else in boxing, especially within Britain, because this is two teams. There's no other team events in this way, and there's no passion like this, because at the end of the day, these are brothers in arms, literally. Do you know, these are from the same regiment, and they're fighting for the regimental pride. You know, especially two infantry regiments tonight, it means a lot more than that. You don't get this at national championships, you don't get this on the club show circuit, and even internationally. A lot of time when there's a duel, there's not the sort of the pride at stake that there is tonight between two very fine infantry regiments.
Absolutely, and so it's a very special night for the Vikings. It's their very first final. Not so for two para. They're so used to this 2 para and 3 para. They're obviously really used to you know, having an awful lot of success, and they're not used to not used to losing either. I think there's just been a couple of occasions down the history when they have lost. They lost to 3 para. I think that amazing all parachute regiment final back in 2013, which we were privileged to cover live, and they also lost, I think, to the Fusiliers, didn't they? Was it back in 2016? And there's one of the paras boxers, Corporal Andrews, Zach Andrews, who was actually in that 2016 team, so he's not looking forward to losing again. But there's so many little individual battles going on. Very shortly we will have the messages which will be coming through from the RSMs tonight. They are actually splitting their duties this evening, and it's going to be one Royal Anglian's RSM, Lee Eastwick, who's just about to speak, and he's just doing the address now to the boxers, and to the briefing.
Firstly, in the case of fire exits are located there in the corner, over in that corner, just behind yourselves there, and then to the right. Please make your way through and make your way to the car park, form up in your battalion groups, and then you'll get accounted for from there. Smoking is only permitted in the CQMS areas. Please put the fag butts in the tins, not on the floor. Toilets, please use the portaloos and the toilets in the building. Also, if you're over the marquee, do not use the toilets inside the centre itself, all right, because there's a swimming class going on. Behaviour inside the boxing centre then, firstly, be respectful to everybody who gets in the ring, whether it be myself, the referee, paramedics, or any of the senior officers presenting the prizes. Behaviour during the initial event and outside of the boxing area. This night is a sporting endeavour where both units are on display. Let's behave in a manner that allows us all parties to be proud of their boxers and their units. Please be polite and respectful at all times. Please be aware this is being aired and viewed, so please do not swear. No alcohol is to be brought into the centre itself. Please leave all alcohol at the bar or the marquee or wherever you're actually drinking it outside. You're encouraged to support your boxers at all times. However, the following points to be noted and complied with. There is to be no booing, slow hand clapping, jeering, whistling, catcalls or chants are easy. Boxing is not easy. Tonight's boxing, like I said, is being live streamed, so please watch your language and be respectful. Format of the evening. Okay, once I've finished, the music will start playing again. Please talk amongst yourselves. When the VIPs arrive, I'll ask you all to stand up. You remain standing for the regimental colours to be marched in. After that, we'll then do the national anthems. We'll then do bouts 1 to 4. We'll then have the interval. VIPs will go to the clubhouse. Okay, messes to the marquees. That's messes from both battalions. Everyone else, 2 para, you'll be outside at your tent at the back. And Vikings, you'll be down at the marquee as well. I'll then give you a timing to return to your seats. We'll then do bouts 4 and 9, then the presentations, and then we'll do the farewells. Finally, if the lights fail, to remain seated, and I'll brief you what to do from there. Enjoy the evening.
Well, thanks so much there to RSM Lee Eastwick from the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment. 2 paras, RSM W1 John Willis will be looking after the second half this evening. And already now the atmosphere just beginning to build as we look forward to this fantastic night of boxing. I'm also delighted to tell you actually that during the interval we'll be talking to 2 English ABA champions who are joining us this evening. They're sat behind us. That's Terry and Sophie. Sophie's come up from the Royal Navy. Terry here, obviously used to boxing with the Army. We're looking forward to hearing about their magnificent performances at the weekend when they won those English title belts. In fact, there were 3 obviously, and they brought their belts with them to show us as well, so we're looking forward to that. And James, you know, must bring you in on this because, you know, the success, and also Lucy as well, the success of our women boxers is just phenomenal at the moment.
Yeah, John, I was just saying earlier to one of the ex-boxers who's popped in to watch the boxing tonight how the girls have been carrying us for a couple of years now. Obviously on there we sort of likes of Caris, and not just Caris by ourselves, but we had Ebony Jones, we had Tori Ellis, and we've had a couple of national champions as well with Steph Rowan, and we've done really well with the girls. The lads have done deep, but the girls have really shunned these last few years, and they continue to move us forward as well. And we've had 2 national champions this year, and it's nice that the Navy got in on the act this year as well. It's always good to see our long distance cousin, our nearest rival, get themselves a national title as well.
Well, I know, Lucy, you'll be particularly proud of Sophie Colburn as well, who sat behind us, you know, Royal Navy. Great, you know, for these titles to be spread out, not just for Army boxers, but across the British military. It's brilliant.
And I think, you know, these are role models for our future boxers, not just women boxers, but I think they're role models for all boxers. Everybody wants to achieve the ultimate goal, and that, whether that's an English title representing Great Britain and going to the Olympics. And I think they provide a fantastic role model, and they've done such a great job so far.
Well, we're so looking forward to hearing from them, during the intervals. We come back for the second half. As Lee mentioned there will be a quite a lengthy interval, actually, nearly an hour, which obviously I know that for you, those of you who are watching it over in Cyprus, might mean it's going to be quite a late one, but hopefully it'll be well worth hanging around for both halves of this competition. Very shortly, some of the guests, the tier 2 and 3 guests will be seated, followed by the tier 1 VIPs will be taking their seats. Then the MC will be asking for permission for the colours to be marched on, and that of course is a very significant military event. As you mentioned already, James, you know, this is 2 very proud infantry regiments, and bringing their colours along is just as important, isn't it? It really is. It's vitally important for them.
Yeah, it's all part of that regimental history, isn't it? And obviously that's almost setting their stall out and almost boxing for that regimental pride. That colours is a big part of their regiment, and they obviously want to do everyone proud tonight and do the yeah.
They certainly do. I mean, I've got all the notes that I've spent a bit of time with both units actually over the last few days, just sort of getting the background ready from them, and certainly talking to the Royal Anglians. Every one of them says, I feel great pride representing the Vikings. I have a lot of pride representing my battalion. That's what they're all saying tonight, because this is a team competition. Obviously individuals, there are some individual medals for all of them, but this is very much a team competition tonight, and you know, for them, particularly for the Vikings, this is being a first, it is so significant for them. I think we're going to be hearing very shortly then once again from Lee Eastwick, and there's also something very important that we'll be looking ahead to tonight as well, and that's some thoughts for a young lady who is very much in need of people's help and support at the moment, and that's going to be mentioned. Anthony Freeman, who is this young lady's dad, is here tonight, and we're all going to be rooting for her. I know that over in Cyprus they've all been, you know, keeping a very close eye on things and really looking out for this young lady who is making a very brave fight at the moment against a rare form of cancer. And actually in the programme tonight there is a QR code for Jasmine's GoFundMe page to help her get the urgent medical attention that she needs. And I know out in Cyprus everyone knows all about that. We know all about it too, and you'll see all the corners for the Vikings tonight wearing their pink t-shirts with Jasmine's name on. So, but that's all going to be mentioned. You'll be hearing a lot more about this before we get underway with the boxing tonight. So we now wait for the arrival of our VIP guests. Some of them have drifted in. All the judges are here, and that's actually a good sign, isn't it? That we've actually got the judges here in place as well. And the scoring system. Tell us a little bit about how the scoring system works, because you know we obviously get at the end, we either hear that it's a unanimous decision, a points decision, or a split judges decision. But sometimes they can be. Even a split decision could be not as tight as you might think it is.
Yeah, so each round scored individually. There's 5 judges at ringside, and they've either got to reward the round 10 for the winner, and ultimately the loser of the round either gets 9, 8 or 7. The vast majority of rounds are close, so they would be that 10-9. What's the best way to describe it? A split decision just suggests that there's one of the judges has gone the opposite way. Obviously we can have a 4-1 or a 3-2, and if they all go the same way, we've got a unanimous decision. Sometimes the confusion comes with the scoring system when people think they think that a bout isn't close if it's a unanimous decision. If it's been 2 rounds to blue and 1 round to red, but one of the rounds was really close, but all judges have seen exactly the same thing, they've all seen a very close bout, they've just all seen the same thing. Technically, if it's a split decision, it's a divided opinion. It must be really close, because ultimately someone has thought blue corners win, and somebody else has thought red corners win. So, yeah, obviously the scoring criteria, it's subjective. Do you know?
Well, absolutely, very subjective. But there is an electronic system, isn't there now, Lucy? I mean, we see that in the Olympics, where actually you can see the scores popping up on the screen as the bout is going on. I don't actually like that, and I'll tell you why. Because it takes the jeopardy away, doesn't it? It takes that thought that, you know, when the referee holds up either one boxer or another's arm at the end, you don't quite know which way it's going to go. Only the judges and the referee actually know which way it's going to go, and that's what, for me, that jeopardy is what makes amateur boxing like this so exciting. If we had the score in front of us, if you watching at home saw the score in front of you popping up, it wouldn't feel quite the same, I don't think. But that's how they do it in the Olympics.
And I think we've seen the scoring change year on year, and they try different methods of both keeping it objective but also maintaining that transparency. And I think that's really important as well. Certainly for a competitor, they want to know that the decision is the right decision. And I think we go through lots of iterations of methods of trying to do that. And I think certainly here we have this computer scoring system. I think it's very difficult to claw rounds back if you've lost the first round. We don't have the benefit of the professionals who have sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds to even perhaps a difficult first round out. So I think it can impact on the jeopardy. You're quite right, but I think boxers probably prefer the more transparent nature of it.
Okay, well, interesting. It's certainly a debate to have, but the judges tonight have got an electronic system, but we are certainly working on the traditional way tonight, and for the excitement, obviously, for that build-up. Must just mention, we've got loads of people who are letting us know where they are, and let me just really go from the top, I suppose. I said Cass Castle says, come on to Para. Alan Moss says, Utronique Paratus, and that must be some sort of motto. I'm not quite sure what that stands for, but forgive my ignorance on that one. John Douglas, good evening from Musselburgh. Looking forward to a great night of boxing. Good evening to you, John. Jasmine, the Warrior Princess. Come on, the Vikings. We're here in the audience watching you. So take a couple of photos wherever you are, if you're over in Decalia tonight, and we would like to maybe see those photos whether you're all watching together, because this really is a team event tonight for the Vikings. Cass Castle says, drop the hat. I know what that means. Georgina Jane Curtis says, go on Vikings, and come on the Vikings, says Jasmine, the Warrior Princess. Gareth Thomas is watching. Good evening to you, Gareth. And Jasmine, the Warrior Princess, thank you all so much for your support for our Jasmine. Brilliant. And there's a few little pink hearts there, and that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Alex SDS says, good luck to the Vikings from a poacher veteran. So there we go. Lots of messages coming in. Good to see the poachers there tonight. Yeah, supporting their boys. But I'm sure it's going to be, away to my left-hand side here, is going to be a huge amount of support for the Paras this evening. And keep those messages coming in, because we want to hear from you this evening. But I'm hoping that very, very shortly we're going to have the arrival of our first tranche of VIPs who are going to be taking their seats, and we'll be underway very, very shortly. I say we're going to have eventually the permission from the MC, from Lee Eastwick, for the colours to be brought on, and that really will signal the start of what we're expecting for. Then after that, of course, we'll have the One Royal Anglian colours marched onto the Speed of the Plough, or Speed the Plough. 2 para, they'll be marching on to Ride of the Valkyries, which is a regimental march, of course, of the Parachute Regiment. And then Ring Parade for the bouts 3 to 9 will happen with Princess of the Universe, Queen as well. And then we will have the national anthem, and then we'll know we're really getting started for tonight. Sort of just looking down really the opening 4 bouts, because we're going to have 4 bouts to start with tonight, then 5 bouts in the second half. Some really interesting matchups at the lower weights. Dylan Murdoch, 57 kilos, orthodox stance. He's 23 years old. He's from Belfast in Northern Ireland. All of them have got some good form behind them, and he'll be up against Alex Mason, who's 21. He only joined the army in 2021. He's from Northampton, and within the Vikings battalion. He only started boxing in February of last year, so my goodness me, he's come a long way in a very short time, hasn't he?
Yeah, to make the regimental team, especially a team that's been doing it full time after only been at the regiment for a short period of time, he must be fairly impressive. Speaking to both coaches, the Paras really fancy their chances in the first bout. So we've got Dylan Murdoch. He won in the quarterfinals, and in the semi-finals he won by stoppage. He had the 10 bouts, and they really fancy their chances in the first one. I'm expecting them to race into a bit of a lead.
Yeah, so that's obviously and there's a lot of interesting ones. I mentioned Zach Andrews earlier at 71 kilos. He's probably at 27. He's probably the most experienced boxer in the ring tonight. He's not the oldest, obviously, but he's certainly one of the most experienced boxers. And a lot to prove. 12 bouts, 8 wins, and he was in that 2016 team that lost to the first Fusiliers. So he'll feel he's got a lot to prove tonight as well, won't he?
Well, that's the bout where the boxing Kieran Cocker from the Anglians, and he's their team captain, and he's actually the lad that the Anglians are really expecting to be the stronghold, the banker. So we're expecting a good fight there, because we've got Cocker on 11 bouts and we've got Andrews on 12. So we could, and they're both the same age, bags of experience.
I mean, all the boxers were invited to say a few words about themselves. Kieran's written about half a page of A4 here. I mean, he's from Peterborough, 10 fights in Civvy Street and 8 wins, and he only joined the army for 6 years later. And he says, I'm just happy to have the opportunity to be competing again. I've been supporting the team in the lead up to the major units, where they've been gaining experience and having bouts representing the battalion. And then finally I got to box along with the team in the semi-finals against the Lancs when I got a first round technical knockout, which was nice to come back into winning ways after a while out. I mean, that's a great story, isn't it? I mean, he's been out for such a long time, he's come back, got a first round technical knockout, and here he is, obviously captaining the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you all please be upstanding for the VIPs?
So the VIPs due to arrive then into the ring area now.
Please remain standing for the battalion colours. 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment. March on, the colours!
Sir! Colour party! Line and centre! Quick, march!
As they march on to Speed the Plough.
Second Battalion, the Paratrooping Regiment. March on, the colours. Sirs, ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the teams.
So it's time for the ring parade then, as both teams now enter the ring to the applause of everybody. The Paras will be in the blue corner tonight, and in the red corner will be the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, the Vikings. Only 7 of the 9 boxers are in the ring. The first 2 bouts, obviously they're preparing to come in.
Please be seated. Bouts 1 and 2 are currently warming up. Boxing at featherweight are Private Mason and Private Murdo. And at light welterweight, Private Forrington and Private Cummins. The boxers from the 1st Battalion of the Royal Anglian Regiment, Private Cuthbert, Lance Corporal Cocker, Private Lovesley, Lance Corporal Marion, Private Farrell, Corporal Cool and Private Diggins. Introducing the boxers from the 2nd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment, Private Dolan, Corporal Andrews, Private Walker, Private Drury, Private Unden, Lance Corporal Jones and Lance Corporal Lindsay. Sirs, ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for National Anthem. Please be seated.
So we are just about ready then to get underway. It must seem like an awful long wait for you, as the boxers just about to leave the ring. There's going to be a few words before they do, just on the Jasmine appeal, which I know to those of you watching in Cyprus means such a lot.
Sirs, ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen, before I commence the boxing, I stand before you today with a heavy heart to share a story that is both heart-wrenching and inspiring. Jasmine is a beautiful 7-year-old girl with a cheeky gap-toothed smile who is full of energy and life. However, Jasmine has been recently diagnosed with myeloid glioma, a rare and aggressive brain tumour. This has shattered her life and the life of the family. The diagnosis has been devastating for Jasmine's family, who are trying to come to terms with the news that they only have a short time with a life-threatening illness with their little girl. They have been told there is a low chance of survival, and due to location, there is no option for operation. At the moment, the best course of action available in the UK is for Jasmine to undergo an intensive radiation therapy to allow Jasmine a few more months of respite. However, unfortunately, the treatment is very, very expensive, and it will be down to the family to fund. Jasmine's father, Anthony Freeman, who's here tonight, is an ex-Viking soldier. His partner, Jackie, both of them have refused to give up, and they have started up a GoFundMe page. the account on Jasmine's behalf to raise a total of £250,000 to make the possibility a reality that she can receive treatment. If anyone feels able and they want to donate, please go to the GoFundMe page on the Instagram, which we found under Jasmine Warrior Princess, or in the back of the programmes there are QR codes, so please donate. I think you'll all agree that Jasmine has showed the will and fight as a true boxer, so I'd like you all please to join me in a round of applause. Tonight is the 94th staging of the Army Inter-Unit Boxing Championship Finals. Sirs, mums, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the boxers of the opening bout. Boxers!
Well, very moving words there, I'm sure you'd agree, from Lee Eastwick. It kind of puts the sport and the boxing very much into context, doesn't it? And I know that those of you watching in Cyprus will have been very moved by what Lee Eastwick had to say there. But we're moving on to the boxing then. And so the first of the men coming in now is going to be Private Alex Mason, orthodox boxer. As he'll do his walk around the ring now. And they've even got their own Viking to join in this evening, and that will really set the red side of this ring very much on fire here. That will really set them going. As Alex Mason prepares to face Dylan Murdoch of the Parachute Regiment. And he's greeted, of course, by a rapturous level of applause from the two para soldiers, officers who are here tonight, and supporters, as he prepares now to enter the stage. And I've just been reminded that that phrase I was trying to repeat in Latin means, of course, ready for anything, which is the motto of the Parachute Regiment. Thanks for reminding me about that, James. And that's going to cost me a few beers next time I head up to the mess. So we're just about ready then for bout number one. Just a quick check from head coach Dan Holmes on Dylan Murdoch, 23 years old, from Belfast, 10 bouts, 6 wins.
I was chatting to Charlie Durney's number 2 earlier, John, and they really fancy Dillian tonight. These two have boxed before. They boxed, I think it was at the Infantry Box Cup just before Christmas, and Dillian got the win on that occasion.
Well, we'll see if there's a repeat performance then. I'm sure that Mason is equally anxious to set the record straight and put that right. As Murdoch enters the ring. And just at the moment, just checking, Alex Mason is our referee for this first bout this evening, Staff Sergeant Gordon Bruce, who's looking after. Just checking. He's checking his gloves, making sure they're as they should be.
Gotcha.
What goes through the boxers' minds then in this? In the it's just total focus. It's interesting talking to Zach Andrews earlier on. He said, "I don't see the faces. I don't see the faces of my opponent. I just focus on what I have to do."
I think at this stage, John, you're thinking, we're thinking, why did I choose boxing?
Good call. Good call. But once they get started, there'll be no stopping them.
The first bout of the evening is a development class featherweight contest, boxed over 3 2-minute rounds, between, in the red corner and representing the 1st Battalion of the Royal Anglian Regiment, Private Mason. And in the blue corner, I'm representing the 2nd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment, Private Murdoch.
So here we go then, ready for the first bout of this Army Final 2023.
Red Mason, blue Murdoch.
First round.
So off we go then. We're underway in these Army Finals. Mason in red, Murdoch in blue. Great support from the para, of course. Gets in a couple of early jabs there. And that's a one to the head. Good start from the para here. But Mason replies. Totally focused, both of them. And if you heard some language there, which you were probably not expecting, our apologies. But we are live here in the ring in Aldershot. Good one, good couple of combinations there from Murdoch. Fairly tentative.
And Murdoch's just holding that low hand. He's tempting Mason in, and it's really difficult to see that rising jab. It comes outside of your peripheral vision, so he's using that really well.
But a good reply from Mason there. This is going to be tight. Murdoch looking confident though. Gets in there. Both of these orthodox boxers, only a couple of southpaws in action this evening, actually, in the later stages of the competition. It's quite unusual, but not a lot between them as we approach the end of this first round. Nice little combination there from the man in blue, from Murdoch. Thoughts on that first round?
Yeah, it was quite a technical start. I like what Murdoch was doing. He struggled to find his range initially. He's trying to trigger, he's trying to get a reaction. There's not an awful lot in it, but the little bit of qualities come from Murdoch.
Yeah, did show his quality there. 23 years old, he's from Belfast. He was in the battalion's last boxing team, which didn't compete because of COVID, of course. They were all set to fight in 2020, I think, and of course because of COVID we didn't have a championships, we didn't have a 2021 championships either, but he wants to go on to the individual championships. Obviously he's got a bright future ahead of him, has Dylan Murdoch. Alex Mason being looked after by his corner. Corporal Jordan Dyer is the head coach tonight, as I say, wearing their pink t-shirts in honour of Jasmine, who's been the warrior. Thank you so much, she says. Here we go then for round two. As you say, very technical in that first round, but Murdoch just maybe showing the better of the punches early on. But Mason coming back. Got the centre ground, got the centre of the ring. Good support coming through for him, and I'm sure there's plenty of support coming through for him in Cyprus, which we can probably feel here in Aldershot. Nice little combination again from Murdoch.
Murdoch's using his footwork really well. He's not allowing himself to be pushed back to the ropes. He's putting plenty of the ring behind him, giving him an escape route. Mason just needs to close the ring down, just cut off the angles and throw the combinations when he's inside.
Which is what he'll be trying to do. Difficult for him to get those punches in. Couple of punches to the body there from Mason. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good scoring punch from Mason there. Little left and a right, but Murdoch responds. It's hotting up.
Yeah, it's a funny one, this, John, because see Murdoch, he obviously nicked the first round, and he's a technical boxer, and he's a counter puncher, and he wants Mason to commit. Obviously, Mason's got a gamble because he's a round down, so if he gambles, he might play into Murdoch's hands.
Good early rounds, though, both men. Yeah, Mason ended there, I think, the stronger of the two, but whether he got enough scoring punches in is another matter.
Yeah, it was a close round. Personally, obviously, I prefer Murdoch's style. He's if anything, he's dominating. He's technically and tactically, he's trying to draw Mason's lead and counter him. The corners are getting the scores in between the rounds, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out. We can tell who probably won that last round by the response we get at the start of the third.
Okay, we'll keep a very close eye on that, and they know exactly what they need to do. Lots of conversations going on at the moment between Jordan Dyer and Alex Mason. Okay, seconds out then, time for the third and final round in this opening bout. This featherweight contest at 57 kilos. Murdoch in the blue, Mason in the red. You can see Mason's got that aggressive look on his face. He knows he's got some work to do here. Murdoch fending him off, waiting for his time. Good little combination from the man in red. He's really got to go for it. Maybe take a few risks. Sets about him well. Good reply from Murdoch.
Precisely what Mason needs to do. He needs to close that range, and once he's in there, he needs to throw the combinations, slightly change the angle, go again with the second phase. He's got to put Murdoch under pressure and really convince the judges that he's on top this round.
Gordon Bruce just stepping in there a moment ago just to make sure that everything was fair. Eyeing each other up at the moment. Little jab then from Murdoch. Mason comes back. Mason certainly the more aggressive of the two in these final moments of the last round here. Needs to be. Has Murdoch done enough? That was a good combination from him, a left and a right.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like Murdoch is managing the bout a little bit. Maybe he knows he's 2 rounds up, and he didn't really take a step on the front foot until, well, even now he's still willing to let Mason lead off and just sort of pop shot with the counter punches.
And pick him off perhaps, but this has been a really good opening bout here. These two, not a huge amount between them.
No, it's a good bout. It was a competitive bout, and it was a good opener. It was quite technical. The referee didn't have much to do, and a good start to the night's action.
Well, Lucy, who for you has probably just about snatched that one?
I'm going to have to go for blue for Murdoch. I think he just put the shots together with a little bit more quality.
Well, we'll see whether the judges agree. Both boxers now just approaching the ring, and as they face the VIPs.
By unanimous decision, blue is the winner.
So unanimous victory then for Dylan Murdoch from Northern Ireland, and it gets the Paras off to a winning start, but it was a really good bout nevertheless. Although it was a unanimous decision in favour of the man in blue, it was still a great performance from Mason there. I'm sure everyone out in Cyprus will agree with that. Sean McClory says absolutely awesome effort from both fighters. Mark Beedham, Murdoch is scoring better. You're right, you're quite right. Good boxing from both. And Thomas Gregory says, ready to get smacked around. I'm not quite sure who he's referring to there, but there we go. That's the end of the first bout. Remember, we've got 4 bouts in this first half of boxing here in Aldershot in the first half, and then of course 5 in the second. But it's a good start for the men. Now talking to Julian Evans, both boxers coming in, and we'll be hearing from them right now.
We could do this in oh, well, we've got, congratulations, we've got sound. Thank you very much to our man Jason. Well, look, congratulations. Titanic tussle. You did have the look of an apex predator out there, so we felt that perhaps you were going to come away with victory.
Yeah, well, we've fought before, and so it was like a rematch.
Now, that's unusual, that you fought before, so you know a little bit about each other. So, I mean, coming into this, did you think you had it?
Oh, no, because brave enough to get back in, you know what I mean? So I took him serious. Thought he was going to come out hard and fast. Came out a bit different, but I adapted to it and it was good.
Well, look, congratulations to you. Points on the board for your team. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So congratulations then to both boxers, but it is Dylan Murdoch who emerges victorious then to give the Parachute Regiment to Para
boxers
the first win of the night. Remember, it's 1st to 5 this evening in these 9 bouts will decide this title. So our second boxers now coming in to the ring, and I'm looking forward to this one, this light welterweight contest, 63.5 kilos for Lucas Thornton of the Royal Anglians. He'll be emerging very shortly to the sound of the drums, and here he comes. Confident young man. I spoke to him last week, and he expects the Vikings to come away with a title tonight, but why wouldn't he, you know? You have to be positive, and he's certainly very positive. So the applause of the red side of the ring this evening. That's Foz Thornton. He's from Boston in Lincolnshire. And up against him this evening is Private Michael Cummins from Northampton. He's 30 years old, so there's quite a difference in age, 10-year age difference between these two. Cummins, plenty of experience, back in the boxing team after 10 years, and this is his first Army final. 7 bouts and 5 wins to his name as he now approaches and goes round the ring. To the blue corner. All part of the tradition. You go past the opposition, don't you, James?
Yeah, it's good. It's almost like the horses getting paraded around before the national. Do you know, everyone gets a look and anyone can choose a winner.
Absolutely right. So a bit more for you on Lucas Forrington. Joined the battalion back in 2020. He says he's in Boston in Lincolnshire. Started boxing for the battalion in July last year. He says, because I love boxing and I jumped at the opportunity to do it full time. Eight fights, 6 wins and so 6 wins and 2 losses. Feeling great leading up to this fight. I'm very confident that I'll get the win. I just can't wait to get my hand raised. It feels great to represent the battalion and put on a show for the army. Well, let's see whether it's going to come true for him or whether it's going to be Michael Cummins who is going to put a second victory on the board for the Paras.
The second bout of the evening is a development class light welterweight contest, boxed over 3 2-minute rounds, between in the red corner and representing the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, Private Forrington.
Thomas Gregory says, let's have it, Fozza.
And in the blue corner and representing the 2nd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, Private Cummins.
So say a 10-year difference in age between these two.
Red Forrington, blue Cummins.
I think we can expect a few fireworks in this one. Lucy and James, I think we're all set for some fireworks.
First round.
I was speaking to Jordan from the Anglians, and they really fancy their chances in this bout.
Yeah, he's a very confident young man. Just watched him sparring last week. But the Para has got a bit of a height advantage here, I think, but that might not stop Fozza. Good confident start from both men. Bit of a clash there between the two, and Forrington in there. Great reply from Cummins. Both making their mark early on in this round. That's a really good punch from Forrington there. He's back. Little jab there from the man in blue. Reply from the man in red. Oh, and another one. A good one to the head. Forrington doing really well here. I think he's taking his first round. Another good one, another jab. And a hook in there.
I think Cummins just leaving his chin hanging out a little bit. He's after he throws, his hands are down, his chin is up. So he's just giving Forrington an opportunity to land some quite eye-catching shots for the judges.
Well, they'll be scoring points, that's for sure. Both go in there. Good reply from the Para. Forrington comes straight back towards the end of this first round. It's been a cracking first round. I expected fireworks. We're certainly getting them. Second match in this Army boxing final. Well, James, what's your assessment on that one?
About the midway point of the round, I wasn't sure who was going to win the round, and there wasn't an awful lot in it. And then Forrington got through with one, which unsettled Cummins, and then he walked onto a couple more, and Forrington started to enjoy himself a little bit. And by the end, he sort of won, not a clear win of the round, but he seemed to take the round for me. Yeah, Forrington seemed to get that round.
I think that well, certainly from where I was standing or sitting, it looked like the man in red certainly got that first round there, and he's a confident young man. The rest of the side there, George Barley and Jordan Mayhew, are looking after things this time for the Royal Anglians. Also, Lara Perry is here as well, Lance Corporal Lara Perry. She's been helping them and had a bit of success herself in the ring last week, I believe.
Yeah, I was there last week. She boxed in the 104 Brigade Championship. She got a win, yeah. She boxed last week as a guest.
So here we go then, with Cummins having to come back, and he has come back. He's come back all guns blazing, as we expected. Anton had to watch himself. He certainly took that first round, but Cummins not wasting any time. And another great punch though from Warrington, got one on the head there. He's a really good boxer, this young man, and again
Cummins just needs to use that range. He's got really long arms, he's got great straight shots. He perhaps just needs to keep him at range just that little bit more. He's falling into his shots just a tiny bit.
They're really going for it now in this second round, but Warrington again is just the more measured of the two at the moment. Cummins, though, as we expected, with a parachute regiment boxer, really going for his man, but is he leaving himself open to the scoring shots? Again he goes for it, and again he takes it on the head. Both of these men absolutely fearless out there in the ring, doing themselves proud, doing their regiments proud here. And I'm sure you'd agree when you're watching, wherever you're watching, this is a terrific bout. Cummins coming back, but again Warrington, you know, gives one back. Both of these men orthodox. Last few moments of this second round. Warrington trying to make it count, gets one in there after the bell. Again, much closer, but Warrington scoring punches.
It looks like to me like Warrington took that one as well. It's a bit of a shame because Cummins started really fast, but he has no respect for the shot that's going to come back. So he does a bit of offensive work and then lacks a bit of defensive work on the back of that. That's why he's getting tagged after he throws his own shots.
Nelta Samuel says, yes, the Vikings, we got this one. Great, get your replies and responses coming through. Ryan E watching this evening on YouTube says, I hate to say this, but I watched both the Paras and the Anglians train. I think it's going to be a long night for the Anglians. Well, there we go. We'll see whether you're right, Ryan. As we stand by then for the third and last round, 2 minutes. Can the Vikings level it? Can the Paras take a 2-0 lead in these early moments of this Army Championship final? Warrington again on the offensive, but Cummins is coming straight back at him. Will he leave himself open? He's really got to go for it, as Cummins obviously. Combinations, left and right hooks from Warrington. Cummins though, got him in his sight, got the height advantage as we said. Again, Warrington gets one through.
Warrington just a little bit cuter on the trunk defences. He moves his head a little bit more than Cummins, and he changes the angle quite well when they're in close and finishes the exchange.
He's a very intelligent young boxer, that's for sure. Just 20 years old. So he's got this 10-year advantage on his opponent, but you wouldn't think it, would you? He's boxing with a great deal of maturity here.
He's boxing really well. And
Cummins, great comeback from him. Oh, and both of them slip.
because he's 2 rounds up, he's not took the foot off the gas, but the ball's in his court here, so he can sort of welcome Cummins in and just pop shot, and that's why, he's boxing quite neat.
And Cummins, great bravery here. Say he's not boxed for 10 years. This is his first final. Forrington really going for both of these men really in these last moments of this final round, giving it absolutely everything. Forrington again gets a scoring punch in. Cummins replies, uses his reach, but again he takes one to the head and another, and surely that is a terrific bout. Congratulations to both men. Forrington thinks he's got it, and I don't think he's wrong with that one.
No, I'll agree with Forrington's decision. I think Forrington's done enough. It was a good bout. Do you know, the first 2 bouts have been quite clean, they've been quite technical, and the referee's not had an awful lot to do, so it's been neat boxing.
Terrific second bout. If you like military boxing, you won't have been disappointed with that one. So here is the judgment of the judges.
By unanimous decision, red is the winner.
And a unanimous points decision in favour of Foz. Forrington brings it back to 1-1 in this Army final here. Terrific performance from Foz, and I'm sure those of you watching in Cyprus will be absolutely delighted about that. Brings us back level. No arguments with that one, I don't think, Lucy.
No, it was a really good bout, as Jay said, really technical bout. I just think that Forrington put the shots together a little bit better. He threw the phases just that little bit better and had a slightly more effective defence.
Well, let's bring the 2 men in then. And they're now talking to Julian
Terrific
Evans.
performance. It's easy for all of us to forget that you're still novice boxers. You're putting it all in there. You look like you've been boxing for years, and after that, you probably feel like you have. Commiserations, Michael. I know that's not the result you wanted, but you certainly impressed a few people here tonight, including your unit.
Thank you very much. Cheers for support, guys.
How imperative was it for you to get points on the board for you guys now?
Yeah, I had to. Do you know what I mean? We're here to win. It was 1-0 down, and I had to put everything into it to make it 1-1 again. It's a sick fight from him. Really good fight.
There's so much noise going on. How much are you able to listen to the corner to get the instructions on board?
Yeah, you hear bits and bobs, but obviously I've all the noise. It's really hard.
Well, look, congratulations. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to both men there as they shake hands with each other. And, well, I think we now know that we're going to be in for a really good, really even contest between these 2 units tonight, because that was a great performance from young Forrington there.
Yeah, Forrington boxed really neat. Do you know, the first minute was close, and then his better. I think Lucy hit the nail on the head, that his ability to defend and respect what's coming back at him, but made the difference because he didn't get tagged as often. And then once he won the first round, the ball was sort of in his court, and he could sort of play the counter puncher.
So there we are, level at 1-1, 2 bouts down, 2 to go in this first half of the Army final. And next up, we're going to the welterweight 67 kilos class, and Private Indy Cuthbert from Southend anti-tank platoon joined September 2011, and he started boxing only in February of last year. Wanted to learn how to box, and he's had 10 fights, and he's feeling very, very confident. He says, I've got lots of pride in representing my battalion. He's now coming out to face the music in the form of Private Dan Dolan. He'll be out very, very shortly, and I know that Dolan, I think he's probably the tallest man in the competition here at 6'2". So there's going to be a real height advantage, I think, for the man in blue. Dolan, 7 bouts, 3 wins so far. His first season with the 2nd para boxing team. as he prepares to make his entrance onto the stage. Jasmine the Warrior, good evening to you, Jasmine. Great to get all your comments this evening coming through. She says, come on, the Vikings. Absolutely behind them. And just so glad you're enjoying this one this evening, Jasmine. Late though it is out there in Cyprus, obviously a 2-hour time difference, so it's approaching, what, 10:30 in the evening out there in Decalia tonight. And I know there's a lot of you all crowded around a big screen watching there. And I'm sure you're incredibly proud of that last performance from Falls-Forrington to bring you back level at 1-1. So here we go then with bout number 3. Last minute adjustments being made by Derry Maniaka on the coaching team with 2 para, with Private Charlie Dane and Johnny Lowe as well. Joining Dan Holmes on the coaching team tonight for the Parachute Regiment for 2 para. Quick check from the referee. Last referee, by the way, James Battle, was the referee for the second bout there, and this is Staff Sergeant Sam Wilcox, who is taking care of proceedings.
The third bout of the evening is a development class welterweight contest, boxed over 3 2-minute rounds, between in the red corner and representing the 1st Battalion of the Royal Anglian Regiment, Private Cuthbert.
Again, both these men, orthodox stance.
And in the blue corner and representing the 2nd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment, Private Dolan.
I recognise Cuthbert. I don't know if it's from the Army individuals last year or it might have been the Infantry Box Cup. From what I remember, he had a bit of an all-action style, which it'll be interesting to see if Dolan keeps it long, as you'd expect from somebody who's 6'2" at welterweight.
Well, it's a massive height advantage he's got, but whether he can make it work for him, only we will find out in the next few minutes as they set about each other. And straight away, good work from Cuthbert. Getting in there, Dolan replying. Cuthbert really going for it. Straight away, he's got his man on the ropes. Not necessarily what I expected. But Cuthbert getting a couple of... Goes for the hook there. Dolan gets one in, and Cuthbert replies. Both men working really hard here. Nice little combination of a left and a right from the man in red. Again, nice work from Cuthbert, putting his man under pressure.
That was a good body shot. I felt that from here.
Yes. Yes, it rather rippled around the tables, didn't it? I'm sure the judges felt it too.
We've got a classic tale of your tall boxer versus your fighter, and it's a clash of ranges. This obviously Dolan wants it as long as possible, and Cuthbert just wants to get on his chest, and it's who can control that range that will win this fight.
Is this a David versus Goliath here? But at the moment, both of them are equal. If that hook gets through, that right hook from the man in blue, from Dolan, it could do some serious damage.
Dolan's working really hard here. He's holding the centre now, which is I think what he needs to do. He needs to keep it rangy but hold the centre. As he's running on the back foot and he's running around the ropes, it's very tiring to do that, and actually Cuthbert is sort of saving a bit more energy.
Yeah. This fight is actually going rather differently from what I expected. I thought it would be the opposite. I would have thought the Para would have been going for his man, but actually the more aggressive man was certainly Indy Cuthbert there, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm a little bit opposite to what you thought, John. I thought if you got a nice tall 6'2" boxer, I'd want him to keep it at range. That might mean I've got to move on the back foot, make the most of the ring and keep it all at my range. Like I said, battle of ranges this one. There wasn't much in there, but because Dolan spent a little bit of time on the ropes, that obviously Cuthbert forced, you could argue, is a little bit more dominant. It's part of the scoring criteria. Would you have nicked it for that reason? Possibly.
I mean, really close that first round. Both of you seem to be sitting on the fence a little bit with that one.
It's one of these classic rounds where it's what the judge prefers to a certain extent. Whether you like a front foot boxer or a back foot counter boxer, it's a little bit subjective in this case.
Okay, stand by for round 2 then. More than 1,500 of you watching live at the moment on our YouTube channel, which is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, live here on Horses News, Facebook, YouTube, and on BFBS, of course, if you're watching overseas, and that's where you're watching in Cyprus. But we're well into this second round now. It's Cuthbert in the red, Dolan in the blue. Referee just pulling them back. Keeping the punches absolutely fair. That's a really good one there from Dolan. Got through on Cuthbert's guard. Goes for the left hook, but Cuthbert just sees him off.
Cuthbert seems to have eased off the pressure. He needs to maintain that front foot boxing because he's allowing Dolan to hold that centre and he's dangerous there.
And he's got him with a good little left and a right there to the head. And again, the smaller of the two men, though, he's making these punches count. Goes for the uppercut there on the right. Sam Wilcox just pulling them back as they go for it again. Nice work from Dolan, but Cuthbert comes back at him. And again from Dolan, that was good work from him, from the man in blue. Cuthbert, as you say, but he comes back with a great little combination with a left and a right. Again, he's getting those punches through.
Seeing a role reversal here, but now we've got Dolan on the front foot.
And again, he's beating the guard, isn't he? He's really getting those through. Left and a right again. Back comes Dolan. Both men having to work so hard here. End of the second round. Well, what do you make of that?
It was a funny round because I thought Cuthbert took the foot off the gas, sort of went on the back foot a little bit, but then sort of counter-punched quite a bit, and then it almost confused me because they did reverse roles, and Cuthbert had success in the opposite way to what he had success in the first round. I'm going to have to sit on the fence. I think it's on this last round.
It is even Steven, isn't it? I just thought there towards the end, though, that Cuthbert just got some punches through. He got some scoring punches through to the head.
I think his defence is very good, Cuthbert. I think he took quite a lot of the shots on the gloves from Dolan. Yeah, I'm with Jay. It was a strange round. I think perhaps Cuthbert knew the result of the first round, and perhaps he did take his foot off the grass. Maybe he was up. Who knows?
Well, this third round will be the decider. Mark Beedham watching from a very wet Doncaster this evening. Brian Rosier watching from Spain, where I gather you're having record temperatures at the moment for this time of year. And Alex SDS watching from Melton Mowbray, my hometown in glorious Leicestershire. Away we go then for the third round. And straight away, Cuthbert is on the offensive. He's looking for a win. He's looking to go for it here. And these Paras know they're up against it here, against a really strong Royal Anglians group who had that magnificent win, of course, over the Lancs in the semi-final out there in Cyprus. That went right to the wire. It's quite possible this could go right to the wire. Certainly this fight's going right to the wire.
Dolan's staying busy, and a little bit like the second, even if he's not landing at times, he's sort of outworking Cuthbert. But Cuthbert's got a bit of an awkward, not unorthodox knack of punching on the move.
Yeah. He's just catching Dolan out a little bit. He's picking him off. But clearly Dolan he's got a big punch in him somewhere. You just never know, do you? Lands a haymaker there, but it's defended by the man in red. And again, that little left hook is just working its way through for the man in red. Again, he scores. And I think this is veering towards Cuthbert here. And certainly the fans away to our right agree.
Those body shots are taking their toll a little bit, I think. Great body shots. He really has.
And the referee has called for a count. And at the end of this third round, literally we're right at the end of the third round, that's absolutely crucial for the man in red. Cuthbert again. Dolan is clearly tired. Both men have given their absolute all. The Paras trying to cheer their man on. There's a great bout, a really terrific game of chess and plus out there in the ring then. Brilliant from both of them.
The last round was a bit of a seesaw because Dolan come out and almost punched himself out of it a little bit. Cuthbert really good. The second and third round of timing of when to have success. The last 30 seconds, the last thing the judges remember is that's what's going over the line, possibly. But he timed it really well when to have his successes.
Really terrific boxing there. I mean, great performance from the Viking there. Nelta Samuel says, Vikings all the way. Thomas Gregory says, come on. And class boxing indeed. Best I've seen you box, man. That's Thomas Gregory.
Unanimous decision. Red is the winner.
Yeah, it's a unanimous win for Cuthbert. Well, and that puts the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiments, 2-1 up. Well, I thought that was a terrific bout. Both men absolutely amazing. But Cuthbert again, Indy Cuthbert, as confident as Forrington was in the previous bout. Well, very, very shortly we'll hear from both boxers.
Indy, come in.
Coming in to talk to Julian Evans.
Congratulations, first class performance. I know what it's like. I feel your pain. I'm that guy in the supermarket who needs go-go gadget arms here to get the things off the top shelf. Fighting somebody with such a long reach.
It's a nightmare.
A nightmare?
A nightmare, yeah. It's horrible. It's just hard, to be honest.
You got underneath his defences pretty well, though, second and third round.
Cheers, I've tried.
Both orthodox style. Yeah. What's it like fighting a guy that you know you've got the reach over?
I'm used to fighting the smaller guy, so I should have been more prepared for that. But he did an excellent job getting under me, getting those body shots off.
Bitterly disappointed, but again, you've done your unit so proud.
Definitely. Disappointed.
You guys now hold the advantage, that's down to you.
Was that, sorry?
You guys hold the advantage, that's down to you. I was going to say for effort alone, when do you guys go back to Cyprus?
I go back in 2 days.
Yeah, I was going to say, after that performance, your CEO should upgrade you to business class at least.
Oh, I hope so, yeah. You hear that?
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations to both boxers there who gave us a really entertaining bout there. And, well, I think when Indy Cuthbert said that was hard, and Dan Dolan says, I should have been better prepared. Well, there you go. Are they underestimating them a bit?
I wouldn't say underestimate. I said, Dolan, I think, if anything, put in too much effort too early and didn't, almost punched himself into not a standstill, but to a point where Cuthbert could counter him later in the round, when sometimes it not matters more, but judges have short memories. They tend to remember the last 30 over the first minute.
Now, we're on to bout number 4 this evening, and I've really been looking forward to this one. Zach Andrews, who actually demanded almost to be interviewed last Monday when we went up to the Paras to see the lads there, against Kieran Cocker, the captain of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, at this light middleweight. I think this is going to be an absolutely cracking fight tonight. And, well, it's very, very difficult to call. As I saw Kieran actually a bit earlier on, and he's really chilled. They've just been so looking forward to coming over here and competing in this final. And they've got smiles on their faces. I mean, for him, he must be butterflies ticking away inside, but he's certainly not showing it.
No, he looks chilled. He's the team captain. Obviously, there's a bit of pressure on his shoulders, just like the coaches, because obviously he's led his team in here tonight, and whether they win or lose tonight, he'll want to win his bout. But definitely as a team captain, if he collects the team trophy tonight, he wants to collect that having won his bout. So a little bit of added pressure for Kieran Cocker tonight.
Well, he's up against Zach Andrews, who's now approaching the ring, 71 kilos him. 27 years old, and as we said, perhaps the most experienced boxer in the team tonight. And he was in that defeated 2016 team who lost 4-3 to the First Fusiliers. He's from Nottingham. He's had 12 bouts, and 8 of those have been wins. And he's a very confident young man as well. So we've got 2 confident men going into the ring. All the ingredients for a terrific bout. And of course, this is the last one before the interval. Crucial then for the Paras to get back on parity. A 3-1 lead for the Royal Anglians will make it very interesting going into the second half. Just the final adjustments being made then by Dan Holmes. And referee Gordon Bruce back out for his second refereeing duty of the evening. Quick check with Jordan Dyer as they go through their tactics.
The 4th bout of the evening. The 4th bout of the evening is a development class light middleweight contest, boxed over 3 2-minute rounds between the red corner and representing the 1st Battalion of the Royal Anglian Regiment, Lance Cocker.
Looks like we have another height difference, John. Obviously, the Para looks a little, well, yeah, good few inches taller than Cocker.
It's interesting. When I thought, yes, I think that the height looking at both of them, there's actually not much in it, is there really?
Red Cocker, blue Andrews.
He must be a little bit stockier. He looks a bit squashed. I'm not sure. On my eyesight's going.
So here we go then. Yeah, Kieran telling me that the boxing team first formed as an intercompany boxing last year, and they've formed with some of the winners, and the people have stuck at it. And ever since, they've been grafting together. We saw pictures of them training on the beach while they were out in Decalia. What I think used to be the old Cessac beach out there in Decalia. Whether it's still called that, I'm not quite sure. It's a while since I was in Cyprus with BFBS, but a good start from both men. Andrews goes in. Cocker just told to keep his head up. One to the head then from the Anglians captain, but Andrews comes straight back at him. Fearsome men, both of these. Both of them corporals. Kieran Lance corporal, a full corporal, Zach Andrews. Looking technically very good, both of them, so far. Huge support coming through for the Viking here from the poachers. A lot of poachers down here, and the Paras fans, they respond. But again, just a little warning from Gordon Bruce to Kieran Cocker to keep that head up. That was a good punch, a really good one through from Andrews there. Bit of jousting on the ropes. This is a really bruising contest so far. And it's difficult to remember that it's some time since Cocker actually did fight. He's come back in 10 fights in Civvy Street before he joined the army. So what do you make of that first round? Bit of a bruiser, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice round. I thought Andrews controlled the range. I think he does have a bit of height advantage, John, because he was making the most of it there. What I would like to see from Andrews, though, straighten that rear hand up, because he's thrown it bent and it's making him miss. You know, he wants to make the most of that reach, straighten that rear hand up, and it could make it a bit of an easier night for him. But I'll be interested to see what Cock comes out of in the second round.
Yeah, Lucy, what did you make of that first round?
I think Cocker just got a little bit, he crowded his own work just a little bit. His head was a little bit low, and Andrews was pretty cute in terms of just spoiling his work. So he needs to perhaps use the angles that little bit more, throw to the body first to get himself in range.
Yeah, it's turning out rather different from what I expected, because I expected it to be the Paras who were going in full throttle every time. But both of these units are really measured in their boxing. Cocker coming back straight away. Andrews on the offensive too. Bit of a grappling on the ropes. Andrews being told not to lean on his man, on his opponent. Neither has really thrown a decisive punch yet, have they? It's they're almost cancelling each other out at the moment. Always going to be a tough one, this. Into the back of the head from Cocker. Andrews responded. And again, with that combination with a left and a right. Up to the side of the head. Andrews got his man on the ropes at the moment.
Andrews just crowding his own work a tiny bit. He is getting told off for leaning on just a bit. He needs to keep that range. Back to the range, back to the nice long boxing that we saw in the first round.
And as you say, he does have the height advantage, but he's not using it.
No, Andrews a couple of times in the bout, so only literally a couple he's triggered. Got Cocker to commit and got a nice rear hand up. Only twice, but that's been the difference so far for me. Just a little bit of technical boxing. Yeah. A couple of scorers in the whole bout so far, but there's not a lot in it.
No, there's nothing in it at all. It's so close, this one. Far too close to call at the moment. And it could be that, you know, one big scoring punch could win it. Let's just give you a few mentions. You got this, Kieran, says Claire Lawrence. Gary John Williams. Yes, it is still Cessac. Oh, I'm glad I got that one right then. Cessac Beach down there in Decalia. Connor Brown, Paralad first round. Interesting. You know, all of you have different takes on this, don't we? Having boxed in the early 80s, says Mark Rigg, and training my squadron to win in 85, watching this makes me realise how much I miss this. Well done to both teams and some great boxing. Yeah, great words, Mark. So, into the final round of this first half of this Army boxing final here. Who is going to win this crucial fourth bout? Is it going to be the man in blue to bring it back to 2-2, or is Kieran Cocker going to give the Vikings a 3-1 lead?
Bit of swinging and missing from Red earlier. I wonder if they've been given the orders you need to win this round, because he's throwing with a bit of force more than he was previously.
Well, they've both got to go for it. It's so even at the moment.
let's make it interesting. This will even it up a little bit, I think.
Yep. And Cocker maybe senses his opportunity here. Bit of a wild flail going in from Andrews. Maybe Cocker's got this. Both men absolutely giving 100% and giving their all, but at the moment it's Kieran Cocker who seems to have the upper hand here. What can Andrews do? Another great punch there from Cocker. Is he turning this one round?
Andrews has just lost his shape a little bit. He's just lost his head, I think. He needs to get back to his boxing.
Yeah, Cocker again. Great body punches. And again, the more aggressive man at the moment is the man in red. Is that a warning for the red? So both have had a warning now.
You see that quite often, because normally it is a case of 6 and 2-3, so it's probably fair enough.
So that's levelled it up in terms of warnings. But the last moments here, referee just separating them. Well, this is going to be so difficult to call. Cocker finishes it really strongly there, and he gets a standing ovation from his supporters, and Zach Andrews similarly, as they both go to the opposite corners. Huge mutual respects for both boxers here. Well, who knows? Who knows which way that one's gone?
It was a strong last stanza for Cocker. There's a lot riding on this bout, isn't there, and on that round, so it'll be interesting to see what the judges have come up with, because it was a close bout.
It was very close. Lucy, what's your gut feeling here?
I'm airing red corner just for the sort of finish. I think it was a stronger finish.
Okay, well, we will find out very, very shortly.
By a split decision, blue is the winner.
Oh, well, very, very tight. There we go. What do we know?
It was close, John. I'll be honest.
Just win it in the first 2 rounds?
I thought he just nicked the first 2. You know, I think if you give if there was only one public warning, it would have made the score even. It would have made the judges have to make a decision. But ultimately, he must have just nicked them first couple of rounds.
Well, it just goes to show just how tight and how close this was. Kieran Cocker, so proud to be representing his battalion tonight. And he's given his all, as has Zach Andrews. Terrific performance from both men. They're now talking to
congratulations. Terrific performance for you, Kieran. You looked so composed in the ring, so happy. You looked at home. Are you going to pursue the sport?
Yeah, I've been boxing since a little kid and I enjoy it, so I definitely will.
Didn't quite get the win today. That goes down to Zach. Zach, congratulations. Aldershot, the spiritual home of the Parachute Regiment. You've got all your buddies here as well. How much does it help knowing that they're in your corner as well as your corner men?
Yeah, absolutely. This is my last season boxing with 2 parents. Just want to say it's been an absolute privilege. Thank you very much. Cheers.
You go out on a high, but crucially in terms of the tournament, you've levelled matters. How much does this win help you then going after the interval and coming out in the second half for those guys that have to box behind you?
Yeah, hopefully we'll just keep the ball rolling, keep the momentum and just keep pushing forward.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you.
So there we go. The interesting reactions coming from people who are watching at home. A lot of people felt that maybe should have gone in the direction of the red corner, but, you know, that's how the judges work, isn't it? That's how things happen. So here we are, 2-2 at the end of the first half. So as we just wait then for the VIPs to depart the arena at the end of this first round, this first half of action. And it really couldn't be tighter. And as the VIPs leave the arena, we will come back and
relax, everyone else.
reassess
Back for
that first
21:30, please. Seated. That's 21:30. Seated.
9:30 is when we'll be back for the second half.
Leave the boxing in the ring.
And we will have a check back on that, and also be talking to two very special young lady boxers as well, who've done us proud over the weekend. But just before we go and before we take our half-time break, just your thoughts, both of you, on that first half. We are absolutely dead level at 2 bouts each. It's been terrific stuff so far.
Yeah, it's been really competitive. The boxing's been really technical. There's, up until the last bout, the referee's not had much to do, and 2 apiece about where it is. Last one was really close. Personally, I thought Blue nicked it, but obviously Lucy thought otherwise. But it was a very close bout, and the sport is subjective, so it's that's the nature of the beast.
It really is. And Lucy, from your point of view, I mean, we've seen some great boxing. We've seen such bravery as well out there in the ring from all the fighters on duty tonight.
And I think that's where boxing's unique. It takes a special person to climb through the ropes and to at least hear the first bell, and the training that goes behind it. In many ways, that's the easiest bit. It's the training that goes behind it, and all of the things that people don't see. That dedication, that hard work, getting up in the morning, doing the runs, the weight loss. There's a lot to this sport, and it's hard. And I think we just have to give respect to every single boxer that has the courage to step through those ropes. And they've done themselves, their coaches, their regiments proud so far tonight.
They most certainly have. Well, thank you both. We'll be back with you in around about what time is it? Just over half an hour's time, around about 9:30, and we'll start the second half of this fascinating all-army boxing final here. And it's 2-2 at the moment between the parachute regiment, between 2 para and the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglians. Don't go away. Join us just before around about 9:15. We'll be back with a build-up as we look ahead to part 2. See you later.